We make the prayer over and over. Lead us not into temptation. Lead us not into temptation. Now, some have voiced concern about that. Why would God lead us into temptation? But I am determined to stress that this is just the first half of a poetic statement, restating the same thing twice, which is typical of Hebrew poetry. You gotta do the follow-up on it. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Deliver us. Still, I must say, I struggle with the start of this gospel passage. As it begins, the Spirit directed Jesus into the desert to be tempted by the devil. We do get tested. Temptation, well, is part of the program. Temptation is the possibility, the suggestion, the allure, the consideration. You know, you could. Why not? The sin is embracing it. That powerful first reading from the book of Genesis. That story, all these years later, is still so illustrative of the nature of temptation and the nature of sin. How the serpent takes a simple, life-giving directive from God and twists it all around. You gotta be kidding. God told you couldn't eat from that tree? Don't you know that if you do, you will become like gods? You'll have knowledge of good and evil. I am still disappointed that neither Adam nor Eve raised any questions. Like this one. Well, why would God lie to us? And the devil really does answer that, suggesting that God would be jealous, threatened, if they became equal to God. But I think they really blew it because they didn't answer this simple question. Oh, by the way, are there any other consequences to this you're not telling us about? Oh. That would change the complexion on a lot of our choices. First, we choose nothing that doesn't appear to be good, satisfying, wonderful. Yeah, I've always wanted to try that. Ugh. I offer you a few questions to bring in the face of temptation. Now, I realize that often temptation grips us and we're just into tunnel vision. But these are really valuable questions. First of all, how am I going to feel about this tomorrow? Or down the road? Second question. Do I want to be a saint? Which, of course, is what we're called to. Question number 3. Is the Lord in our midst or not? And I mean that not so much in the sense of, oh, God can see me, but we have more strength at our disposal than we have of ourselves. He's promised to be with us always. There are no qualifiers to that. Not only when we're perfect, not only when we're sweet and loving, always. Even in our failures. Even if we hit rock bottom. And there's such an insidious temptation that says when we've sinned, when we've fallen, when we've gotten into a rut, God doesn't want the likes of me. Oh, I'm beyond salvation. No such thing. That's the evil one, skewing things. It's a long season, this Lent. For weeks, we're called to sacrifice. Literally, to fast. Certainly to abstain from meat on Fridays. To rededicate ourselves to prayer. To be generous in our almsgiving. This is not a fundraising project on the part of the church. This is about preparing us for temptation. This is about reminding us who we are, what we're called to. Temptation is just part of life. It will come. And you know how it works. Well, it looks so good. How could this possibly be wrong? Well, it doesn't matter. Besides, no one will know. And everybody does it. It's only natural. And we are very natural. But we're called beyond that. To the supernatural. Created in the image and likeness of God. There's more to us than there is to an animal. We had this beautiful and simple Lenten theme from Romans chapter 6, verse 4, that ends in these beautiful words. We're called to live in newness of life. And these are the weeks where we're challenged to invest in that, to brace ourselves for temptation, to be reminded anew that He's with us always. And that, darn it, every one of us is called to be a saint. May God bless us all.